So, this is me, Allison Janicek. Today we're going to hear about the adventures of me, my spleen, and a virus at Western Illinois University. Back then, I wasn't particularly close with my spleen. I barely knew it existed. It did its thing, I did mine. Until one day, more like 3 weeks plus a fever plus what I thought was the flu plus hives later, the line was crossed. Little itchy red dots kept appearing and disappearing on my body. This meant it was time for the duck doctors. They took blood to run tests on mono, strep, and something else that I can't remember. They even gave me a shot of steroids in the glute. Oof. I just wanted to know what I had. What was wrong with me? Was that so hard? I'd been sick for over 3 weeks, and boy was I exhausted and sick of being tired. They told me they would call with the test results later that day. Surprise, surprise, they didn't. My life felt like a purse that needed to be cleaned out. All the crap spread out, jumbled together, mixed with papers that had the print smeared off, clogged pens, open lotion bottles, leaking lipstick. If I knew what was wrong, I could clean it up, take the right medicine, make a list, be okay. All me and my spleen wanted to do was sleep. I've never felt more connected to my spleen in my entire life. It became my best friend. We suffered through everything together. All I had done for the past 3 weeks was sleep, do homework, nap, do some more homework, sleep, puke, sleep, watch Dawson's Creek, nap, sleep, watch Gilmore Girls, do homework, sleep, become addicted to a Sailor Moon app, sleep, 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 and sleep. All I wanted to do is sleep. Since the BU didn't help, my mother convinced me to go to the ER. With my Smaggerinsky book in hand, I drove there in the middle of the night. After almost fainting from the blood they took, I finally had an answer. Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy. But I have mono, and you too maybe. Epstein-Barr virus, aka mono. I knew I didn't get mono the cool way. And the only people I shared drinks with were family. So how in the world did this happen? I thought back to the first time I felt sick, and was glad I hadn't been around my aunt or 101-year-old grandma. There is no way in the world they would have survived mono, so phew! I could not live with that on my conscience. Thank goodness for being busy. Funny thing was, the next day the BU called, several days later than what they promised, and told me I had tested negative for everything, even though the ER had mentioned it's possible to test negative during the first 14 days-ish. I ended up going back to the BU. The BU kept on repeating not to drink, like I was any condition to drink alcohol or party, and to take it easy. When I asked if I could have an excused absent for 1 day, the doctor looked at me like I was crazy and said, "If you can't handle having mono in your classes, you need to drop your classes. You're not contagious, so you can go to all your classes. Unless you lift chairs." Well, isn't that swell, I thought. He also told me I couldn't play any contact sports for at least a month due to my spleen. It's at risk of erupting if it gets hit too hard. Me and my spleen were in this together. It was up to us to take on the virus. During the next few weeks, me, my spleen, and other organs battled the virus. So how do you get over mono? The thing is, you don't. You live with it, breathe with it, do with it. It's like the friend who won't stop talking. The overbearing boyfriend who can't function without you. It's suffocating. But one day, the day you don't expect, you have the strength to move on. Doesn't really have an ending. It just happens. Finally, I was back to having some energy, and not feeling like this all the time. My spleen and I formed a friendship that would last forever. Well, as long as it doesn't explode or anything. And we talked it over. We're breaking up with mono.